आपने 201 मिनट, आपने 200 बच्चे क्यों नहीं कत्ल किए? 100 क्यों खरीदने का मन कर रहा था ना? फिर इंतजाम कर रहे।
मेरे पास आज भी इतने पैसे थे कि मैं ये सिलसिला जारी रख सकता।
November 1999, Lahore, Pakistan. This story starts with a spine-chilling letter. When the Lahore police check their mailbox, they find an anonymous letter with a terrifying confession. I am the killer of 100 children. My count ends at 100. There are tears in my eyes, and with Allah's blessings, my mission is now complete. My message will reach the whole world. I will make hundreds of mothers cry. The letter listed all the victims' names, what happened to them, and how they were killed with every minute detail. It explained how he dissolved his victims in acid, how much acid was used, the cost, and how long it took to dissolve the bodies. At the end of the letter, there was an address, 16B Ravi Road, Lahore. The police were shocked after reading the letter. It raised many questions. Did he really kill 100 children? If he did, why confess so openly? How could so many murders happen in a house in the crowded streets of Lahore without anyone noticing? And the biggest question of all, why did he commit these murders? To find answers, some officers from the Lahore police went to the address given in the letter. They knocked on the door, and a man came out, a middle-aged man about 38 years old, wearing round glasses, looking innocent. His name was Javed Iqbal. When the police asked him about the letter and other details, his attitude changed completely. He put a gun to his head and threatened to shoot himself if they didn't leave. The police, looking at him and his behavior, thought, how could this man kill anyone, let alone 100 children? He seemed like a madman to them, so they left without searching the house. The police had no idea they had just encountered pure evil and Pakistan's most terrifying serial killer. November 1999. After not being taken seriously by the police, Javed writes a second letter. This time, he sends it to the chief crime reporter of Pakistan's famous Jang newspaper. As soon as the parcel is open, many pictures of children fall out, along with a letter and a 32-page diary.
मैंने खोला, उसमें 75 बच्चों की पिक्स थी। उस आदमी ने ये क्लेम किया कि मैंने जी 100 बच्चों को कत्ल कर दिया है।
The letter says, "My name is Javed Iqbal. I have completed my mission of killing 100 children. I am sending pictures of all the victims. I want you to tell everyone through your newspaper what I have done. I am also sending my diary, which is my full confession of 100 murders. You will find all the evidence at my house on 16B Ravi Road. My first victim was a 14-year-old boy whom I killed and dissolved in an acid drum." After reading the letter, the chief crime reporter was shocked. He immediately goes to the address mentioned in the letter with his colleague. When they reach there, they find the house locked. They climb the wall to enter, and the scene inside leaves them terrified. There were blood stains on the walls, and iron chains were hanging. They also find around 80 pairs of shoes and children's clothes. The whole house smelled strange. As they go further inside, the smell from one room gets stronger. When they reach there, they find plastic barrels, and when they open them, their hands burn from the acid inside. What they see inside the barrels is beyond their imagination, partially dissolved body parts.
तो आप सोच भी नहीं सकते मेरी क्या हालत हुई। उसमें लोथड़े थे और एसिड से मेरे हाथ जल गए।
There were also some notes written on the house walls. One note said, "I didn't dispose of the bodies on purpose so you can find all the evidence." Another note said, "My mission is complete, and now I am going to commit suicide in the Ravi River." Without delay, On December 3rd, the Jang newspaper publishes the most shocking headline of that time and informs the police. They also release the photos of all the children and the names of 57 victims to the public. After that, thousands of parents gather outside the police station. When the container from the drum is tested, it contains sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid. Javed Iqbal was on the run, and the Pakistan police launched their biggest search operation ever. Javed mentioned in his confession that he was going to commit suicide in the Ravi River. The police searched for his body in the river but did not find anything. The police were losing hope, but then they received the news they had been waiting for. On 29th of December 1999, Javed Iqbal surrenders at the office of Jung newspaper. Shockingly, Javed easily tells the reporters all the details of his crimes, how he committed the murders, how he disposed of the bodies, and answered all their questions without any guilt, like it was something normal for him.
आपने 200 बच्चे क्यों नहीं कत्ल किए? 100 क्यों? इतने काम अंदर है ना, फिर इंतकाम अंदर है।
मेरे पास आज भी इतने पैसे थे कि मैं ये सिलसिला जारी रख सकता था।
Javed Iqbal was now in police custody, but the biggest question was still there. What was the reason behind all these killings? This puzzle was unfolded by looking into Javed Iqbal's disturbing past. Javed was the 6th child of a rich businessman. From the start, Javed had aggressive tendencies. If he didn't get something, he would become even more aggressive. Over time, he started causing trouble for his family. His aggression from childhood can be seen in how he physically attacked other children and even killed animals. After passing out from Islamia College, his father set up a steel business for him. And there, he mostly kept the children and also gave them a place to live in his house. One of his motives was that he had to pay them less money, and the other reason was that Javed was a homosexual who also had pedophilic disorder. He was sexually attracted to children. His family members gradually become suspicious of his actions and started forcing him for marriage. Under pressure, Javed agrees to marry the girl of his choice in 1983, but he had some other motive behind it. That girl was none other than the elder sister of a child living with Javed. He wanted to keep that child with him, but this marriage could not last even for a year, and Javed was now completely free. His mental disorder gradually started to increase with age. He started finding new tricks. He opened a video game arcade shop and kept very low prices to attract children. Within a few days, many children started gathering there. He would take the kids into a room under the excuse of giving them money, and then he would assault them. His family's suspicions were confirmed when Javed committed sexual assault with a well-known man's son. Javed even admitted it, but using his money, he silenced the police and the victim's family. After this incident, parents in the area stopped sending their kids to his video game shop, which was a big setback for Javed. After this, Javed tried setting up multiple other businesses, but all of them failed. In the late 1990s, another FIR was filed against Javed. Charges were rape with a teenager. But again, Javed bribed officials to dismiss the charges. By 1997, due to the failure of all his business ventures, Javed faced financial problems. To deal with this, he sold both of his houses and moved to Lahore. He found a place that was perfect for his plans, the Data Darbar, a Sufi shrine, where children came looking for food and shelter. He lured the children to his rented house at 16 B Ravi Road with promises of food and shelter, and then he started molesting them. September 1998. The biggest turning point in Javed's life comes when he brings an 18-year-old boy home. Javed assaulted him too, but at night, while Javed was sleeping in bed, the boy hit Javed's head with the handle of a rifle. Javed screamed in pain and was badly hurt. When the police arrived, they found him lying on the ground with blood flowing from his head. Because of this incident, Javed stayed in the hospital for 21 days. His jaw on one side was broken. Javed's family refused to take care of him, and only his aging mother tried to look after him. She cried all night seeing his condition, and eventually, seeing him like this, she had a heart attack and passed away. This event had a deep effect on Javed, and it brought out the monster inside him. He began to hate small children even more. According to Iqbal's diary entry, "I was beaten badly, my head was crushed, my mother was made to cry. I hate this world. I will make 100 mothers cry to take my revenge, just like my mother cried for me." After his mother's death, it was as if a disaster had struck him. Javed was burning with the fire of revenge and now wanted to make 100 mothers cry to take his revenge. May 1999. Javed starts his revenge, and in just 147 days, 100 children disappear from the city. He would bring the children home, provide them with food and shelter, then engage in heinous acts with them and brutally strangle them to death. Eventually, he would dispose of their bodies by dumping them in acid drums and then letting them flow down the Ravi River. This series of events continued until the death of 100 innocent children. When the news spread in Pakistan due to media coverage, a sense of mourning fell over the country. People were so terrified that parents stopped their children from going out, and the streets became deserted. 18th February 2000. The court trial of Javed Iqbal and his 3 juvenile accomplices begins. As the court proceedings begin, Javed starts to feel the fear of death looming over him. Despite confessing to the crimes and having plentiful evidence against him, Javed claims he is not guilty. He changes his statement twice, initially stating that no children were killed and that the entire ordeal was just a publicity stunt, and later claiming that he did it to draw attention to the government and police neglect of street children. However, the court rejects all his pleas as they are faced with a pile of physical evidence. The presiding judge, Allah Bakhsh, bears the weight of the entire nation on his shoulders and delivers a verdict that has never been seen in Pakistani history.
As he had committed the murder of 100 children, and the court has recommended that execution should take place in the presence of legal heirs of the deceased as provided under Section 302A PPC. After that, his dead body should be cut into 100 pieces and the flame should be put in a drum containing the acid, which has been the formula which has been described by him in his statement.
Human rights activists protest against this verdict, but it was too late. Javed's sentence remained unchanged. October 9th, 2001. Javed Iqbal and his partner were found dead in jail. The first report said that Javed and his partner used bed sheets to hang themselves and commit suicide. But because both died in the same way, questions were raised about whether it was a suicide or if they were killed. A detailed investigation also showed that the CCTV cameras were turned off from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Because there was no strong proof of Javed's murder, the government officially called it a suicide. It's been almost 25 years since this happened, but for the parents who lost their children, this wound may never heal. In the end, this story leaves us with some unanswered questions. Did he really kill 100 children? Because this was never proven for sure. It takes 2 to 3 gallons of acid to melt a body. So where did Javed get 200 to 300 gallons of acid from? And where did he get the money for it? The series of these questions continues even today.